Hi everybody, and welcome back to NorCal Slot Car Scene. It's that time of year where we start looking at all the cars that came out in 2024 and pick the 2024 Slot Car of the Year. There are some great new cars that came out in the past year, so let's take a look at the 5 nominees that I have for Slot Car of the Year. The first nominee for Car of the Year is the Corvette C8R by NSR. The cars from the 2021 and 2022 season were built to the GT Le Mans rules. But the recent cars look very similar to the GT3 cars that Corvette is racing now. NSR has added to the Corvette line with 2 new liveries which were recently announced and should be available sometime soon. The second nominee for Car of the Year is from Revo Slot, and it's the Datsun 510. The Datsun 510 has been anticipated by slot car racers for quite a long time. The car you see here is the most famous Datsun 510 of all, the BRE car driven by John Morton. The first batch of cars included the Morton car, the 35 car, and the 52 car, which is actually driven currently on the West Coast in vintage racing. Revo Slot recently announced another batch of 3 cars, including the number 68 BRE car, the 76 Golf liveried car, and my favorite, the number 95 Paul Newman car. Paul Newman drove Datsun 510s for Bob Sharp Racing throughout most of his racing career. The next car on my list is from Scale Auto, and it's the Porsche 963. In last year's Car of the Year award, which was won by the MR Slot Car Shadow, we mentioned the 963 because it was available in late 2023, but only as a white kit. So I decided to put it off for 2024 when the liveried cars were available. The first liveried cars were the 2 Penske cars that race in the IMSA series. Since then, Scale Auto has brought out one more car, the Hertz Jota car, in the gold livery, and recently announced that the Penske cars from Le Mans in that multicolored livery will be available shortly. The fourth car on the list is from Slotted, and it's the Acura ARX-05, which races in the IMSA series. Just like in real life, the Acura shares its chassis with the Oreca LMP2 cars, and it's probably one of the prettiest race cars I've seen in a long time. The final car on my list is from Thunderslot. Thunderslot really made an impression on the slot car community when they announced the Ferrari 350 CanAm car. The first 2 cars were the number 23 car and the number 27 car. Thunderslot just this week announced an addition in the Ferrari line. Thunderslot says the Team Gunston car in this orange livery really stands out and the finish is superb. So we'll just have to wait and see, but it sure looks great in pictures. There are a couple of cars that weren't mentioned for a variety of reasons. The first being the Corvette C1 from MR Slot Car. That car was announced this year, and we've seen the actual working cars you see here that I took a couple months ago, but it hasn't hit the market yet, so we're going to save this car for next year. I've kept the Car of the Year nominees to brands that we race regularly in Northern California, but there is one more car that would definitely be under consideration, and that's from Carrera. Carrera had the huge announcement that they're partnering with Hendrick Motorsports as well as NASCAR for fully licensed NASCAR race cars. Carrera is all in on NASCAR with his partnership with Hendrick as well as NASCAR itself. And they've got cars and sets in both 32nd scale analog, 32nd scale digital, as well as 1/43rd, which is called Carrera Go. That's my take on the 2024 Slot Car of the Year for NorCal Slot Car Scene. So which car is it going to be? Is it going to be the Ferrari, the Datsun 510, the Porsche 963, the Acura, or the Corvette C8R? You'll just have to wait and see. I'll have my announcement right before Christmas. Thanks for watching. This is Jim Rose with NorCal Slot Car Scene.